Apocalypse, and Chromie says like, "Oh boy, I got this."
Time
and
to switch
bam,
it
you're dead.
down.
Insane game.
For those of you that have been looking for more information about Garrosh, our pro players have weighed in, and they have information to share with you at home.
Victory or death.
I feel like Garrosh is gonna be seen a lot in HGC. I feel like the hero is really strong, kind of like Stitches in the sense that he has like a pull mechanic.
If you know how to punish other people when they step a bit too far or try to kill your carries or something, then you're gonna get a ton of value of him.
Garrosh is actually really tanky as well, which is something like I think the hero actually with his armor, like with his trait, is actually insane. Like he's crazy hard to kill.
We liked him a lot at the beginning, but over time I think we're favoring a little bit less. I think we've kind of pinpointed some of his weaknesses where he's a little bit easier to kite and it's hard for him to escape if he ends up in a bad situation. So we're a little bit more worried about drafting him.
I think Garrosh plays kind of similar to Stitches in a sense that he's a tank that can really punish positioning, but his teamfight can be pretty weak, and I think his teamfight is even weaker than Stitches, so I think he's definitely a top tier tank, but I wouldn't say he's better than, you know, the likes of like an Anub or Stitches, tanks like that.
To counter Garrosh, I think the absolute strongest pick is Melthail. He completely destroys Garrosh. And another pick that really punishes Garrosh is ETC, and otherwise it's like Force Wall, Entomb, Hold the Ground, all these displacement abilities that kind of doesn't let him run back, punishes him super hard because he doesn't have any mobility whatsoever.
Bring it on!
Well, so far the game has been looking a little bit difficult here for Team Good Guys, as game number 1 was quite the control there for Team Expert, showing off the solid draft there. Diablo getting the engages, and they just slowly toyed with their victims, it felt like.
A little bit, right?
Yeah.
It felt bad watching that at some point. It was like, finish it already. It was like,
Quit beating them up, please.
I feel bad for them. It just worked out really well for Expert. What they got here and how they executed it was pretty much perfect. So from the draft perspective, definitely the Good Guys getting the worst end of the draft, and their composition didn't work out after they fell behind. If you take the earlier lead with it, then you have a bit of a better chance, of course, of trying to push that through. But as Expert dominated the early game, that didn't really happen. Game number 2, on the other hand, that's an opportunity for TGG to redeem themselves and to make a step into that series again.
Yeah, I mean, it's 2 minutes by the Queen. It feels like the meta's been adjusted as of late to where if you can get the first couple of early victories, you can really push those forward. That should fall away a little bit as we go to our next battleground. Let's go ahead and find out where we are going to. It will be Dragonshire, picked up by Expert, as we'll be having the Good Guys with the first pick.
Yeah, Good Guys with the first pick. Dragonshire taken by Team Expert. So now the question for me, and there's so much that they can draft. This is something that Shad in the interview said earlier, the Team Zeller player, as he was talking about how with Team Expert you don't really know what you get. They can play the odd draft, but they have been a little bit more standard, but they just have all these different approaches to the game and how to the draft that it's very difficult to ban against them or to just simply force them into a bad draft. And over here, we talk, for example, again about Medivh. Do you now head straight into a Medivh ban? Do you try to deny that to ADRD? Or you simply accept that it's always going to be a tool for them? Because if you ban out Medivh, you miss out a ban against another one of the top heroes they could play here.
Yeah, I mean, they've excelled past the point to where there are certain heroes that you just ban out to shut down Expert, it feels like. In the Western Clash, we saw them play a variety of styles and pull them off very well. In fact, they pulled off a cool hyper-mobility style featuring Karazim and Illidan that almost worked out for them on Infernal Shrines. This is a team that is willing to take variety and push it to the limit. So you're going to be seeing that here, especially here on Dragonshire. Remember in the past when they ran Zul and Azibo and it became meta within 2 weeks?
They played Butcher.
They played Butcher.
Yeah. They tried Butcher against Fnatic. Yeah, I mean, at this point they had to try something against Fnatic, and as we said also at the Western Clash, it was not that they YOLO'd in a strategy and said like, might as well try it.
Yeah.
They actually practiced that and had results in scrims where they said it is a pick that surprises opponents. If we play our cards right, we might have a chance. Fnatic was too strong in the end, but it still shows that they are, first of all, willing to use that in a big tournament, and also that they have some drafts that when the occasion arises, they are able to throw in to set a curveball up.
Yeah, they're willing to explore niches and push it as far as they can. We've even seen them play Gazzo against Fnatic. It was on Sky Temple, but it is a map that, if you actually think about it, Gazzo theoretically could be strong on, and they want to push those limits and try to show that Heroes is more than a game that where you just find the meta picks and try to out-mechanically skill your opponents, and it works out for them the majority of the time. Oddly enough, the more I talk about it, the more we see the weird stuff against Fnatic, so it seems like they have saved the reserved stuff for them.
Doesn't surprise me too much, because Fnatic is a team where a lot of opponents look at them and say, if we play standard, we're going to get crushed. We need to surprise them a little bit. And also don't get too excited about that Gazlo pick. Even Benny laughed it off in the interview as being really, really bad.
It doesn't matter, man. It's still Exhibit A. It was played in a pro tournament, so therefore, it is evidence.
Got annihilated. What did Bad Benny say when he was asked how did that go? It was like really, really bad.
As he looks down into the fountain, thinking about the past, longingly worrying about why they drafted it.
Team Good Guys is, by the way, thinking about that last game, as is evident with the first ban. So what we expected is happening again. Medivh banned out against them right away. So ADRD probably sitting there with a bit of a frowny face right now, but he had his one Medivh game in the series, so he should be happy about that. Expert, on the other hand, what are we going to see from them? Are they going to ban out Oriel, or are we going to see them with a bit of a different adjustment?
Yeah, I'm curious to see if they're going to leave it up, because they played both Tassadar and Oriel done in the past. ADRD is willing to pick up those supports and utilize them where need be, so I want to see what they're going to try and take away from their opponents. They're also a team that was really focusing on Genji a lot in the last few weeks of the HGC, so we'll see if they're going to have that open and available, because that Medivh ban is pretty much a freebie as they look at it, as a lot of teams ban out the Medivh and they still just adjust accordingly.
Yeah, but now Tassadar, Oriel would be good bans. They go to Greymane instead. Okay, so taking one of the most flexible heroes away from the opponent. Good Guys love to play Greymane. They picked him early in the last game as well. Say usually on the hero here for them. And that leaves us with the Good Guys and the first pick. And now, of course, again, the question, what is going to happen here? We've seen some shifts in the way that first picks are happening, but oftentimes it's still a support that you're looking for. And Tassadar is, in this case, what the Good Guys aim for. So already heading into a double support composition.
See if they're going to move into that. That does mean that the Illidan could be a tool here for Team Good Guys. They pulled it out once, I believe, the other day on Friday, but they were using it very often in the first few weeks of the HGC, and Tassadar is definitely one of those heroes that really helps them out. You want to get that melee assassin and utilize him. And we are pre-patched before Illidan got the nerf from 60 seconds to 100 on the hunt. So Team Expert needs to think about that and be willing to adjust as needed.
That was a pretty interesting nerf also. I expected higher cooldown thanks to the cooldown reduction as well, but that you nearly double that immediately. I was just like, alright, I expected maybe 80 seconds.
Yeah.
20 more, that would already have an impact, but they went all out on that. Basically, we have a Metamorphosis fan on the side of the development team. That's what it felt like.
Yeah, it's a 66% increase if I remember correctly, so regardless, it's 66% more time that you have to work on getting that trade up and available.
So Genji taken together with Abathur for the map now, which leaves a lot of really strong heroes still open. Uther, Rhaegar as the second support are available. You can go into a ranged double support style if you drop Vala now as a hero. If you're more leaning towards Illidan, you could take him here early on. So yeah, with Genji and Abathur taken here, there's still a lot of flexibility for the Good Guys. Oriel, Tassadar with a Lunara or Vala could easily be taken. You can still add into that, head into the Illidan. So yeah, there's a lot of potential here for them. I mean, they're super flexible. Yeah. That's simply what I'm saying here.
Do they want Tracer? Do they want just the Illidan? They're going to go ahead and move to the Illidan. Is this going to be a Rhaegar? Yes, there it is. So Illidan, Rhaegar, Tassadar.
Alright, so Anti on Illidan. And yeah, we still need a hero for Raid Boss. And most likely we're talking about Lunara or Vala. Expert could pick one, ban the other, and limit those options a little bit for them.
Yeah, typically it moves straight to an auto-attacker just because of Genji being on the field. Yeah, some compositions, if Genji's not here yet, you would say, okay, maybe a mage. Maybe we can move into Li Ming, but Genji really shuts down a majority of mage play, so should be seeing some kind of auto-attacker coming in from Team Good Guys. We've even seen Cassie in the past, but for now we have to go through our ban phase. Team Expert, is there anything they're afraid of in terms of engaging? I think ETC wouldn't be too bad of a ban right now when you're trying to run that Genji.
Yeah, we have seen, this is basically the Good Guys draft bit that they ran along a lot with Stitches, but they have other heroes now to take too. For me, Garrosh is still one of the heroes that I have in the back of my head since they've been playing with him a lot when they got the opportunity. The question still is if he really fits with that setup here now. But first of all, ETC gets banned, so the trend continues with ETC getting his priority. good guys are trying to make anti-hero's life a little bit easier by banning out Arthur's, just saying, okay, let's make sure that he doesn't lock Illidan down. And Team Expert, here we go.
Team Expert. I don't know why, but I'm feeling Azul for some reason. Even though they have Abath or Genji, I'm just feeling it. Are you feeling it, Caldor?
No.
You don't look like you're feeling it,
I
but
don't
I'm
look like
feeling it.
Zool?
Yeah. Drop the
You
bone
want
prison.
to play Zool, another support, and a main tank?
Yeah, I think it sounds fun. Shut down the Illidan, drop the Skeletal Mages on the back line, make it hard for Tassadar. Genji goes in, hits his buttons.
I think it's wrong.
Maybe, it's possible. I haven't played Hero League in a few days, so.
I mean, it's Expert.
Yeah, it is Expert.
If they pick a Zool, no.
If they pick Zool, man, call me the drafting god. You have to for the next week, every single day.
All right.
All right. But you didn't have a fight back on that bet. A Nubrak is Zool-like.
In which universe is a Nubrak like Zool?
Yeah, sharp claws and a scythe is sharp.
I mean, they could still take Zool. Avatar Soul Support.
There you go. Well, let's see what Team Good Guy's going to get. We're looking for that range and obviously a main tank. There's always the discussion of maybe not running a tank, but we haven't seen that in a long time.
Okay, I'm trying to get my brain wired back into normal drafting. Good guys, again, what we need for them is we expect an auto attacker, range damage dealer at the least, and then main tank. So BKB has favored Garrosh a lot. That didn't really work out. 0-6, that's the stats of Garrosh in Europe. Traditionally, the good guys played with Stitches a whole lot, but Stitches hasn't really been played a lot for quite some time in Europe now. At least not to the extent that it happened before. I would still expect Vala here. Lunara has been played in the past a lot by Raid Boss. The two of them would be my favorite pick for him. And for BKB, it's Johanna instead. Okay, so Vala for Raid Boss, and BKB going to be on Johanna this time.
Okay, so 5th pick coming in here for Team Expert.
No.
They may
No.
have to get a support.
Okay.
It's possible.
Okay, here we go. Now we're talking.
I think you have to go
you
for it.
acknowledge the need for support. That alone makes me happy.
We're moving up. We're getting the draft down. What support you think we're gonna pick up?
You still can go for Uther.
Yeah.
That would really help with Genji, of course. But Uther has been starting to fall off a little bit. A lot of teams preferring to go into Rhaegar instead. Rhaegar taken from the good guys in this setup. I don't really think you have the battery for Oriel, so Uther would still be a high pick in my opinion. But we could even see something along the lines of a Melf if you want to go into Strangling Vines and attempt blow-up comms. I personally would like Uther the most. Maybe even Karazim since you run Abathur. So you can run him with the Symbiote, chase down heroes a little bit more and put the single target damage on. But my pick would still be Uther for the Divine Shield.
Oh, they just go through for the Bribing though. At least you do get some kind of CC for the Polymorph, for the Illidan diving in. You can move into an Emerald Wind. A bit harder, you may want Blink Heal.
But you can also turn any kind of fight into a quick 3 versus 1.
Yeah.
By Abathur heading Brightwing or another hero. It's like this, there's this hole in my brain where other people think about Brightwing. This is how much I hate the hero. I absolutely loathe Brightwing, and that's every time Brightwing comes in, I'm just like, oh yeah, that's right, Brightwing exists too. There's like somewhere in my head there's like this little hole where everybody else has Brightwing, and it doesn't exist for me, that hero.
You should play 100 games of Brightwing and see if your opinion changes.
No, that's just not gonna happen.
Okay, give us 10, at least 10.
I don't even give you 1.
Okay, so looking at the draft here, I think I actually lean a little bit towards Team Good Guys in terms of draft. You get the engages you want, you force the fights. If you play safe enough and don't allow for that 3-on-1 to happen, but at the same time, if you look at the names and teams currently playing, Team Expert has been on fire.
One of the things that worries me about what we're seeing for the good guys is that their stuns are very heavily hinging on their level 10 abilities. So Reign of Vengeance would be one, Blessed Shield another, and Illidan, if he goes for the Hun, has one too. And that makes it difficult to control a Sonya that is helped by Brightwing plus Abathur. And Ethereal has really impressed me on those solo lanes, so I think he is going to have a massive impact for these fights. And as long as the good guys have to focus on Ethereal, it also means that Genji has a lot more space available to him. So that's what worries me a little bit. I like that the good guys fell back into a draft that is very similar to what they were successful with in the past. I think that's cool. So I feel we get a closer game, but I still believe that Experts' improvement over the last few weeks and months have just been too strong.
Well, it's time to go into game number 2 here. Dragonshire popping up for our teams. Will Expert continue to lead in the series, or will good guys start to tie it up?
It's a 1-0 in the series in favor of Team Expert, as we now see Kronos on Rhaegar and Xay on Tassadar for the good guys. BKB at that front line with Johanna. Antihero finds himself on Illidan, trying to make the opponent feel the hatred of 10,000 Hero League games. That's to the right side.
It's gonna be Team Expert with Bad Benny on a Nubrak, Athuro on Sonya, Nick on Genji, Curson playing Brightwing, and ADRD on Abathur.
So immediately when we're talking about Abathur, we have to talk about the build real quickly, and we see that this time it is a support build. Well, support build in the sense that you're focusing more on your melee assassin, so we currently have them focusing on symbiote talents. Quite important, since we have seen over the weekend a lot of toxic nest builds, which can be quite strong on this battleground in particular as well. It's a little bit of a different playstyle that we see from Expert, which mostly results because of Sonya being picked early on. So every single time you have a strong melee assassin, which Sonya more or less is as the bruiser that she is in the setup, then normally as an Abathur player you want to focus a little bit more on your symbiote talents to help her out later on and make her even more powerful.
Well, Illidan not feeling the Sonya lane at the top lane. They're going to put Johanna there instead, and Team Good Guys brings their 4-man down to the bottom. They break open the turret and start to apply some damage. While Bad Benny comes in for a flank, they have to be a bit careful because their Brightwing is low on health. The Polymorph goes out on Xay, but he barely gets away.
Yeah, that was nearly a kill. I like the aggression. I really like that they went straight for those towers and not only took one down, but also pressured the second one quite heavily. But that was nearly a kill here. Xay just barely moved away. It was a great polymorph from Curson, really well timed.
Bad Benny comes around once again for the flank, missing out on Auntie. He gets low on health, and he tries to run away from the fight, and he does. While Raid Boss answers back with some damage. And overall, that wall's been broken down slightly here, while Sonya is trying to do her best against Johanna.
It's interesting to see Johanna at the top lane. And of course, no matter who is at the top lane, traditionally you would expect Illidan on the solo lane, but he's part of the rotation now, so definitely the good guys shaking up a little bit. But whoever is up at the top is going to have a rough time. I think that's the main reason why they actually put Illidan now into the middle, because they're simply saying, I cannot win against Sonya if there is an Abathur as well and the Brightwing pressure, so let's just try and get some value out of the evasion talents and try and drop a few towers here.
Yeah, Johanna, while she won't win that lane at all, at least she'll be able to hold on for a small amount of time and be able to clear out that wave. So, not too bad for her, but again, the shrine will never be grabbed, it looks like. So it's going to come down to Team Good Guys. Can they grab the shrine on the bottom? And look at this cute little maneuver here from ADRD, stacking that bush with tons of those mines. He has to be careful, though, because if Xay in that Oracle, they can reveal it.
Yeah, and we have another tower taken out. I really like how much pressure the good guys put onto the structure. If they can drop that fountain down there, that would be fantastic for their sustain on the lane. Right now, the level 4 talents are already coming into play, and that's when we're seeing, again, Laws of Hope, and also at least a few talents more anchored towards the toxicness with the prolific dispersal being used, so you have more charges. That makes this even more dangerous, as we are seeing right now.
Anti just barely gets away, but he was low on health. At the same time, though, we did have a Nubrak. He picked off in the middle lane as Illidan was able to just barely get away.
Yeah, I'm really liking the way that they're currently playing this, I'm not going to lie, because this is actually pretty cool. The toxic nests down here make it really difficult for the good guys to have any kind of presence, but finally we see some AoE damage come into play to ruin Abathur's good work down here. But overall, 1 kill already for the good guys. They are a level ahead. They broke through the bot wall. It's really difficult for the experts to hold on to it, especially with now the camp being taken. I really think that change of having BKB at the top lane and putting Antihero into the mix in the rotation has really worked out for them. That was a great decision.
Adjustment has paid off quite well here, as they now start working towards Giants. They want to keep moving in towards that forward. Thuro's holding top lane well, though.
Yeah, and I really want to say that this simple mix of having BKB on Johanna at the top lane and Illidan now at the bottom is awesome, because it seems like such a small thing and you just mention it once as the game starts, but overall the impact on the game is fantastic, because if you don't make that adjustment, then all of a sudden Team Expert has a much easier game. So it seems like a small thing, but it's a great decision to be made here, and it really paid dividends already, even with Vala now being picked up by that good gank that Expert put in.
It essentially flips the map on the upside down, and Team Good Guys are the ones that are in control, and if you don't know how to respond to that control, it makes it a bit harder for you to be effective. But Team Expert is starting to find their footing here. As they find out the Night Camp is in the bottom, they go for a fight, they move on in, and Genji will be able to start fighting in the area. Bad Bunny is going to escape and grab the shrine, so at least a kill good over Team Expert, but the Knights go to the Good Guys.
And I would say this is the better trade for Good Guys, because losing the healer is definitely a bit of a nuisance, but there was no experience lost and they got the camp. Would have been way harder to deal with the camp now. So this is definitely a great choice here. And as we said before, the fountain is already gone. Mule taken by Abathar is trying to heal that up again, but this is a gank that could become an issue. Nice, dodging the stun, but Xay is very much alone at this point and should fall.
There he goes. He does wind up falling here. Team Expert finding some kills to help him mitigate that experience lead that went over to Team Good Guys. It's all about the Dragon now. Team Good Guys do get the bottom side, and Johanna's holding the top. Can they sneak this? Nah. Thorough's already up here.
Yeah, Aethero is doing a solid job at that top lane, and it's easy for him to completely dominate the top lane, since whenever he really needs a head, he can simply ask for Abathar to help out with the symbiote. So BKB's job is not really to win the lane and win the shrine, it's just don't die. Just get the experience, make sure that we're not completely falling apart up at the top. Occasionally he can call for rotation as well, but you can already tell how fast things turn south here if they don't pay attention. Anti-hero dying even because of that simple situation that we talked about in the draft already. If you have Brightwing Abathar, you can turn any fight into a quick 3 versus 1, or in this case a 3 versus 2.
Yeah, that was a 2-on-1 that turned into a 3v2 and a heartbeat there, and Illidan has got completely blown up, and now the experience lead goes a little bit over into favor of Team Expert. They're working on the wave here, can work on that turret and get 10.
BKB actually going really far out to catch that shrine. I think he was really afraid of Expert taking over the bottom instead. They all wait for level 10 at this point. Raid Boss was attempting to get a Dragon Knight, but the interrupt was enough time to give a Nubrak time at the bot lane. The problem is that now Johanna is dead at the top, and that's what I was a bit surprised about. Or BKB really... I mean, he risked a lot here, and he died. I think they were really... They were probably thinking they could sneak the Dragon Knight if he sacrifices himself.
Well, didn't work out for them. And now Team Expert with Ultimate Evolution available should be able to work in some more fights here and actually take up some more number advantages, maybe going for a 5v5 if they find the advantage. Taking out the Vala will definitely be the #1 priority, but Illidan is always a good choice as well. Dragon going straight to Team Expert, and now they will barrel down the middle lane.
Double Genji taken here now as well. You have the Hunt, of course, and that is a bit of a game changer, but the Dragon Knight has been taken by Expert as they go in and hammer away at those towers in the mid lane, taking a few structures and of course also opening up some way up to the top lane. Hunt comes in as Brightwing gets completely dumpstered on. Stunned, and then the Rain of Vengeance follow-up after the Hunt comes in. Not even the Emerald Wind can save her here.
But that was a 5-man commitment, and the Dragon in the middle just walked forward and started hitting on top of this fort here. Should be able to get a little bit lower here. Needs to be careful though. Remember, it is a Nubrak in this area. He should be able to burrow charge over the wall. He does. Auntie does chase in. Cocoon will be utilized, but with the hat coming in, Bad Bunny is being saved for now. Meanwhile, in the top lane, Genji and Sonya just break down the fort.
Yeah, the fort at the top is lost. They know that already. But maybe the one at the bot lane can be taken out as well. And Anti-Hero is still putting some pressure on. But finally, Brightwing reacts it and moves in. Down here, on the other hand, the fort is going to fall. ADRD has done a great job keeping it alive with the Mule, but they should really try and finish this off now. Especially since Sonya has no chance of being there in time.
Yeah, commit. Every time there's Mule in the field, you have to commit to the fort when you decide to go in. Curson will be hunted, and he gets focused down again, and he just spawned. He's already dead again.
Nice. Good kill. Only a dead Brightwing is a good Brightwing.
You're so mean to Brightwing, man.
I hate that hero. Anyways, that being said, really important. It's really good kills that they get with this. And that's the second time that with a Hunt they were able to take Brightwing down. So that aggression pays out for them. And they are starting to close the experience lead out that Expert established. And we'll get the level 13 talents as well. Illidan's impact on this game has been pretty big, and at least they equalized it in structures. They lost the top fort, but at least they reacted with a drop of the fort down to the bot lane. They now are trying to take their own camp here, but they might have to fight for it, and I think at this point they should be willing to.
Yep, structures and experience. Archon will be used, so will the Hunt. Bad Bunny's low on health. ADRD goes on that back line, trying to do some damage to Krona as a crew, trying to get them to back up. But with Archon being utilized, that is a long cooldown. 98 seconds till will be back up, so Team Expert can look for a fight in the next 90 seconds that will favor them because that Archon shouldn't be up.
Yeah, 30 seconds, sorry, you have 30 more seconds also on the side of Abathur, besides that the level 13 talents are already. And the teams, as the shrines are not active, are really focusing more and more on mercenary camps, not really too worried about forcing any battles just yet, since there's nothing to really fight for. So now that the shrines are up again, we can see a little bit more aggression. But as you already said, Archon is a pretty big cooldown that was burned, so they would love to wait for that additional minute until they can finally use the heroic ability of Tacita again. But Nullification alone already as a 13 talent should also help them a lot in these team fights, since they can control Sonya a little bit better, or Genji. And Gloom, of course, also giving Bala a little bit more safety outside of the Rega heals.
Team Good Guys have really just kind of bought this idea of just grouping up as a 5-stack, putting Illidan out in the front for maybe a bait, but Team Expert continues to split push the map as much as they can. On the side, we do see Bad Bunny getting caught out, but he will have Burrow Charge to escape if need be. Knowing he can sneak on by and he has teammates, he does not utilize it. But there is a big push being geared up, both in the bottom lane for Team Good Guys and the top for Team Expert.
Yeah, again, the Hunt. Oh, the Blessed Shield misses. BKB doesn't get the hit in. Nick might escape because of that and gets away. That was unfortunate for them. Yes, the fight is not just over yet, but still, that was a good move or a good attempt from the Good Guys. But the Blessed Shield missing allows Genji to dash out.
And this might buy some time for Team Expert to move forward on the bottom side as they clear up that night camp. In the top left, the night camp they grabbed are starting to push in and move towards the keep wall, so Illidan will have to clear that up. With the Hunt being available, it shouldn't be too much of an issue, but might be just enough here for Team Expert to make a play, and they're moving in.
Yeah, he has Immolation, so that is definitely helping him with the clear speed up at the top, but the Hunt, of course, is a crucial part, as you already pointed it out. Down here, nice double stun. Good damage from Raid Boss, I'm liking it. Genji moves in, but Zay is ready with a shield. Illidan is now getting into range for the Hunt, as Expert is slightly ahead in experience. But yeah, the Good Guys are definitely showing a lot more resilience and a lot more aggression now in the second game, after on the first map Expert dominated the entire flow of the game.
Yeah, this game is much closer and doesn't look like there's so much of a big gap between skill in these two teams. Now, obviously, different compositions. I think Team Expert's composition's a bit harder to pull off, but again, feels a bit more even here. Illidan's in the top lane. Should be able to work on that shrine. It's all about getting 16 for our teams. Hang on, though. Genji and Sonya might try to get the pick on Illidan. They're moving in. Auntie trying to go out beside the queue. Barely missing for a throw.
Yeah, it was a close call, but still it missed. And that could have meant the end of Illidan, but he is able to move out of the range. So we have still in the mid lane here a bit of potential for at least 3 damage. BKB, with all that AoE that he has now, thanks to his level 13 talent, Burning Rage can clear a wave quite easily. But we have both of the teams sneaking around the 2 shrines and more pressure being put onto the lanes on the side of Team Good Guys. They're doing a great job with that bot lane pressure.
Now they are. Genji's looking around. He's in the backside, wondering where Illidan is. He wants to come in for the flank if the 16 does hit and they find someone out of position, but Team Good Guys is playing well enough not to allow that to happen.
Genji is in a bit of... Was it a copy or did he actually get out this fast?
No, I just dashed out.
Yeah, he was in... This is one of the things that he needs to be a bit scared of, because he nearly died earlier when we had Illidan hunting him and then BKB missing the Blessed Shield. If that thing connects, he's dead. So, yes, he has a lot of mobility, but he still needs to be careful here. There's a lot of lockdown against him.
Yep, if you're not able to be mobile, that's when you die. Genji and Anubarak are in the middle now, bringing the take with them, makes it a bit easier for him to hang out. Ante will be in the top lane himself here, pushing in, clearing it as much as he can. The Brightwing phase shift is coming in as Team Expert is trying to move in for a fight. But Team Good Guys, whenever Illidan is nearby, they're doing a good job of having a concave, but also Tathador on the front line and Johanna, both with escapes.
And you can tell that the experts are a little bit more worried about these team fights and starting them. Nick now at the top lane. Again, the Abathur set up, and already there's the Hunt. Oh, anti-hero. I kind of like what he just did. He simply immediately dashed out. not even giving a thought to it, just immediately seeing a hero with Abathur moving in, assuming there's more on the way, immediately using Hunt into the mid lane, just saying, before I die here, I'd rather waste my cooldown. I know that before, like pre-nerf, I still have just a few seconds before I have the cooldown ready up again, and so that works out for him. Gets out of the second gank attempt, and Expert, they really want him. And they showcase this the entire time. And I really think it's absolutely awesome what they're doing, trying to get this rotation top, because he is the isolated target. If they get the kill there, they will get a Dragon Knight on the back of it, but anti-hero plays is extremely safe right now. So both teams, both players doing a great job with this.
Yeah, it's the only option they have available to them, as the foreman hasn't really put themselves in a spot where they could get caught out. BKB is anchoring the bush here, and Bad Vinny will be the target. They drop down 3 forms of CC. The Hunt as well goes underneath the turret. Auntie will be able to start moving on out, but here's ADRD on the left side, poking with the Genji.
I'm not so sure about that Bless Shield. That felt very forced here. Super early coming out here. And that was a bit aggressive. There was a lot of cooldowns that they just burned, whereas Team Expert hasn't burned any of them. So that's a problem for the good guys, but they're continuing the pressure. Their own lane at the top is being pushed in by one of the night camps. And down here, I don't think they can make the play for the keep yet.
They're dancing around, thinking they could for a second or two, but yes, you're right. They need to pull away. That top lane, continue to push in with that night camp, with Abathur bolstering it, helping out with the hat. They will be able to start working on the minions and maybe the well there. Team Good Guys still holding that bottom shrine. Well, Illidan is the main show. He's the main attraction. Pulls away, goes to the middle, and starts to head to the top.
And he has his Hunt up again, so the cooldown reduction on his auto attacks are really coming in for this. But once again, Expert trying to make that play now. They're very patient in this game compared to the last one, where they were oftentimes trying to force a bit more aggression on their opponents. So for them, level 20 is going to hit faster. Good D push at the bot lane, thanks to the Good Guys AoE clear that they have. Genji still sharking around up at the top, and Illidan moving between lanes, just simply making sure he gets the experience and bolsters the foreman. But both the teams are... It's basically just like, okay guys, give us a break until we have level 20, and the other team's like, alright, we're fine with that as well. Let's wait for 20.
Yeah, neither team has really had that tipping point that which would allow for them to have a fight. Expert has had 3 to 4 solid attempts, but Team Good Guys with a solid defense so far has kept them in this game. And it does seem like 20 is going to be that moment where you do move in and force that fight. So what is it going to be the main answer? Does the new bracket rewind and try to go for major CC on one target and then just try to blow it up? Or does Team Good Guys, with their 20 power spike, which is pretty impressive in itself, to shut that down?
I mean, overall, we just have a scenario in which each team knows 1 kill is all you need. It's really, like, it's completely in the balance at this point, but 1 kill is all you need and you can turn it around. You can grab the Dragon Knight, and you might even be able to make a play for the core as the game continues, since death timers are, of course, increasing, and also this Dragon Knight is scaling. And Antihero in particular has so much pressure on him right now, since he knows he is going to be the one hero that has gone solo lanes. But we have, again, bit aggression down here. Pre-20, Hunt comes in, they go for Sonya. Cleanse comes into play immediately. Good job from Curson, making sure that he gets the pre-cleanse ready, so that the Hunt does not get the stun.
That just sounded like a movie poster, what you said there. Team Good Guys versus Team Expert. 1 kill is all you need.
The byline on the movie, yeah. It's true though. I mean,
yeah.
look at how they are just the entire time trying to dash around here and try to angle for that 1 cooldown that they can burn, or that 1 kill. It's really hanging in the balance who takes it. And now we are closing in on level 20 talents. And of course, the Hunt is again on a very low cooldown. This time, the Experts had actually to send someone to the top lane. Sonya was the one trying to deal with the night camp that was taken by Antihero a bit earlier. So we still see both these teams waiting for an opportunity. And it's incredible patience that we have on both sides right now.
20 about to hit for Team Good Guys. They're waiting for 1 more minion wave while Team Expert has already grabbed the 20. The moment 20 is hit, Team Good Guys pull back and they hang out by the turrets. They poke safely and they watch out as Team Expert is trying to find something, and Illidan is still safe in the top.
I like the Storm Poke, by the way, already knowing that ADRD will have some trap somewhere. Especially after he... Yeah, here it is.
Top left.
We know that it is somewhere. AD already has been doing this all game long from the get-go. This is one of the reasons why Tacitus trying it.
Polymorph?
Anti-hero.
Is this it?
Yeah, this should be it.
Oh, hang on. Nope. It's it. A new
Finally.
But a new Brackness in the bottom too. Bad Benny gets caught.
Yeah, but Benny gets caught, and that is actually a really cool counter kill. But still, Illidan is extremely important for this. So they try to make the play for the keep. Keep in mind, they have Mule. They need to drop the entire keep. You can't just simply enter that thing and then move back. You will not have gained anything but an awkward position. Ah, nice. One Rain of Vengeance charge missing, but they get a Condemn in. Mule is still on. They have 30 seconds until Anubarak is back. That's how much time they have.
Ultimate Evolution is available if they decide to move in for it. The Mule is low, but still alive and still chugging along. Zay will be the target here. Here's ADRD on Genji. Turn around for the poke. Do have Sonya on the way too, with a Thorough wanting to move in for the fight.
Yeah, they got the copy, so they burned the copy. That's big. Burning the copy is really important. That saved the keep for now, but it burned another important cooldown, and Illidan has the hunt up when he comes back. So Abathur is going to try and repair that keep. So there's a little bit of a time window where the good guys can have an easier time taking it down. And as you said earlier, the kill against Anubarak was so absolutely crucial because Expert with that kill on Illidan basically prepared a Dragonite, and they waited for that kill for I think 5 minutes or something, and they finally get it, and then they lose Anubarak. It's probably the moment where Benny said like, "Oops, guys, I'm really sorry.
Yeah,
screwed that one up."
Especially with Cocoon. Cocoon is just instrumental for them to force that fight and allow for them to have the effective fight with the Abathur. And Team Good Guys doing everything they can here to work on that keep. They have a few more seconds before that Milk does come up again for Abathur.
Double Storm Shield, by the way. Johanna not going into Indestructible. They both went for Storm Shield.
Trying to stay alive. They know how important it is not to die here. Want to be able to save their teammates. Nick does use the Dragon Blade. He moves in.
Yeah, Illidan comes in with a hunt. They go for Aethero, and Aethero is super low already. Here come the stuns. We have one again, the Rain of Vengeance being used, but Brightwing immediately dropping. Of course, also the Emerald Wind, and still the good guys on the move with Archon. They want that keep finally. They're trying to aim for the lead in this series, trying to get the keep and therefore the advantage, and this time they actually get it.
And they may be able to move in for the core. They have an Archon here. Infinite Archon keeping up. They have an Illidan that can dive onto the core. Emerald Wind's not up for 30 seconds, which would be a good disengage for Team Expert to handle that core rush. They need to make sure to clear out the minions as much as possible so Illidan can't just jump on. And here it is.
Yeah, Illidan is already starting to move in. Anti-Hero is on it, moving in, moving out. Aethero trying to drop him. In the meantime, Bad Benny engaging from the backline. Not getting too much here, but Anti-Hero is already a little bit low. We still have the Ancestral ready, so he could use it if need be. Good stun against Aethero. He's extremely low on Sonya, and he's down. Sonya is down, and this could be it.
That's gonna be it there as 2 does fall. Brightwing being picked off as well. Team of Good Guys, through sheer patience, make it to the late game. Nick doing his best here to clear out the Archon. He's on the side here, keeping up with the auto attack. Bad Benny will use Cocoon. Can they get Illidan? It's not looking like it as the core continues to drop.
Core is about to fall down here. Vala already eliminated, and this is game as the Experts lose on Dragonshire on their map choice. TGG victorious to tie this series with a 1-1.
A cute composition there from Team Expert, just not fully paying off. You have to think about how strong would it have been to actually have a Nuther here with the Divine Shield moving in for the Genji so they can finally get those kills. They try to dance around their opponents, but it felt like Team Good Guys were having none of it as they equaled out on that dance.
I love what you just said. How strong would this composition have been if they didn't have Brightwing?
I like the idea, it just didn't pan out as well for them. Maybe having that Genji can actually force a fight, you know?
No, all my Brightwing hate aside, Brightwing is a fantastic hero against Illidan, and also with the global that you have. But a few shots have to be fired here. Overall, though, TGG with a great win and a very patient game on both sides. I can't even remember when I've seen two teams just like being this patient with their movements, waiting for the 20, not engaging, trying to get the kill. And Anti-Hero and Bad Benny dying at the same time, but in the end, after 20s are being picked up, turns out that the Storm Talons are a bit stronger on the side of TGG, and they get the victory and tie it up.
Well, we're all tied up here, and we'll get ready for a game number 3. Will Team Expert move ahead, or has Team Good Guys found their groove?
Kel'Thuzad is the Lich King's most trusted advisor.